Hello everyone, my name is John Capobianco, and I'm going to try to go quick today, but not too quick that you can't follow. Merlin, one of the first things it does, and one of the core fundamentals, is the JSON representation of a network state. So that's PyATS doing that. Learn or parse a function or a command, we get the JavaScript object notation back. Now I jumped right to presenting this as HTML pages in Django, and yesterday I tried to write my own REST API where we could get the JavaScript back instead of an HTML page back, and I had moderate success. Well, today I started fresh and I found a few articles and I found something called the Django REST framework. It's exactly what I want. It's a REST API framework to present JavaScript object notation. So, model view controller. Nothing has changed here. And what's interesting is we work with an existing model for this step. What we need to do is add a new step, and I'm just going to put S here, where we have to serialize the model. Once we've serialized the model, well, guess what? It's just another view. And the controller is the REST framework, and it takes care of all of that. We still have this sort of URL. We still need a URL for our clients to go to reach this API. We still have our views, and then we're going to have the template. Well, in this case, the template is taken care of for us by the framework. So we need to serialize a model, make a view for that model, and then present that view to a URL, which we'll call a built-in template. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to show you the article I followed here, and we're just going to quickly go over it. So I want to give, Bennett Garner deserves the credit here, and this is a few years old. It's a 12-minute read. It's on medium.com. Build your first REST API with Django REST framework. So, I'm going to skip right here. We have the Django, we have our database, and now we're not going to do anything with React, but what we want to do is integrate with this REST framework. So down here, they talk about these steps. Set up Django. I'm already done that. Create a model in the database. Already done that. So I need this step, set up REST framework, serialize the model, and then create the URI endpoints to view the serialized data. So let's go down to what we need to do here for this particular section, pretending we already have an app. So we already have this up, we have our Django up. Here we go, create the model. Well, our model, let's do a side-by-side here. And our model, in this case, is we're going to do models learn VLAN. Okay, so we already have a model and we have these fields in that model. Now we have to serialize that data because we've already migrated it in to the database. So here's the important part. We have to install the framework. We have to, in our installed apps, in our settings file, add the REST framework, very important. That will call the built-in template for us, and it won't work unless we add it as an installed app. Now here's the important part. We have to serialize our data. So let me show you how we serialized the data in a new file called serializers.py. Okay, now serializers, from the REST framework, we need the serializers. And from models, we just import our existing model. Crazy, right? It's already ready to go. So now we set up a new class with a unique name, VLAN serializer, and we're calling a serializers.hyperlinked model serializer. We're going to set up a meta class where the model is our model. And then the fields, well, where did I get these fields? I got them from the model. I literally copied these and put them into the fields. Okay, so now we have serialized the data. Well, the next thing to do is to display this data. And what we're going to do here is we need a new folder. If you're going to look here in my repo, I don't just have Merlin now, I have a Merlin API. And in Merlin API, that's where I'm going to set up my view, okay? Not in my parent views. You can see how this file is white, it is unchanged. Don't touch that file. We make a new folder for our API where the view is located. Now the view, we import view sets. We import from our serializer, and we import from our model. Okay? And now what we're doing is we're using a query set. That's not unfamiliar to us, where we query learn VLAN. And this is neat. Let's order it by timestamp field. And then we're going to call the serialization class, which is that serializer. And that's all we had to do. Now we just present it in a URL. Now the URLs are chained together, meaning in our main Merlin app under URLs, let me give some space so this is easy to see for a second. What I've had to do is bring in include into my main URLs so that I can include my Merlin API URLs. All right, so now I'm setting this as learn JSON, and I'm including that Merlin API URLs. So now let's look at our URLs here. Now this, I'm going to refer to the article. I don't know enough about this to explain it yet, but we import include and path in our Django URLs. We need routers from the REST framework, and then we import views. So now this router equals router default router. The only thing I changed here was I gave it the name of learn VLAN and I called it views learn VLAN set. Now, I believe that this is the URL that it's using. So then it's going to be /JSON/learn VLAN when I actually click on the button. All right, to get here. You'll see what I mean in a second. Now let's just look at what the article says about routers, because it is part of this. So, right, we added something called router. This will make sure our requests end up in the right source dynamically. If we add or delete items, the URLs need to match up. So the router works with the view set to dynamically route our requests. And let's test it out. So now let me turn on the server. Again, I want to highlight this article. I'm not trying to steal this work. I'm trying to highlight that this was my inspiration for how I did it. Bennett Garner on Medium, build a REST API in 30 minutes with the Django REST framework. All right, so now let's turn on our server and check it out. So we're going to run the server. And I'm going to go to the dummy path real quick of the localhost 8000, and I'll show you the URL that we're after. So where we want to go now is learn VLAN JSON. All right, so then if we do /learn VLAN JSON, look at this. It gives us a REST API interactive page. And we can see we can do a get, and this is what it comes back with. Well, if I click this link, check it out. It gives me the full data set here. And if I scroll down, I just want to see, do I have anything from 08? Are they sorted by... They do look to be sorted by date and time. Here's 04 and it started with 01. And right, we have these fields here at the bottom where looks like it's fully interactive, and I can actually post data into this form, and I don't necessarily want to do that, or I can get just the JSON here, right? Pretty neat stuff. Now I think I believe I can take this into Postman now. And let's go to Postman. Well, I know that I can. And in Postman, I already have it up here. Now let me clear this. And again, if I go to that first URL and get a get, I get the JSON back. Now if I click this and hit send, I get the full data set back. Pretty neat, right? Now they do talk about keys and keying into data. I mean, we can try it. I haven't done this yet, so I don't know if it's 0.os. Or does it just give me the 0 record? I don't know. We can, this does work, the API. We might have to refer to the article. I've already closed it. But I haven't played too much with keys, but we can now have the API to key in on a timestamp or a date and time. And if we look here, there's from 01 and it should be 04, like they should be sorted by that timestamp. So that's how it is done, how to make your own API. Now I'm going to make, that was one, my Learn VLAN. I'm going to see if I can replicate the steps without referencing the article, with referencing my own code, and make a follow-up video and try to do a start to finish, let's make a REST API as a follow-up video. I just wanted to share this. This is a big deal for me. Now I have the JSON and the HTML. And it's not just the JSON. So remember Merlin. It puts the JSON in a file, and even in the Docker, the Kubernetes, that you can go to that JSON. And you can post and get that JSON. But it's not like this, where I have a real functional API. Just incredible to me. So thanks to the article, to the author, and thank you for the support and following up and the interest in this work. I'm going to make another video right away on how to do it from start to finish, and we'll get that up right away. Thanks again. We'll see you soon. Hello, everyone. Let's make a REST API from start to finish using Django, the Django REST framework, and PyATS Python parsed network state information. What we're going to use is what's known as the learn VRF function. So if there's VRFs on the device, PyATS will learn everything they can about it and give us back a nice JSON data set. I already have this working as an HTML page. Let's turn it into an API. Okay, so what we need to do here is first, we need to look at our model, and we're going to split screen here and now. This data here in Learn VRF, what we need to do is serialize this data. So we're going to go into our serializers. I'm going to switch sides here. And what we need to do is import from models Learn VRF so that we can serialize it. Now I'm going to cheat as much as I can. And actually, let's not cheat for the sake of the video. Let's write it from scratch. So what we need is a new class, and we're going to call this Learn VRF Serializer. And this is serializers dot, I am going to cheat, hyperlink model serializer. Okay, that's what we're trying to serialize. And what we want to serialize is a class meta, the metadata. And our model, in this case, is Learn VRF. And here what we're going to do is our fields. Well, the fields are from the model. So I'm just going to, I am going to cheat here. Let's do it this way. To get, I guess it's here. So what we're going to do is put these in here and wrap them in single quotes, because these are our fields. And these all get comma separated. And I'm doing this because I am lazy and I don't want to type all this up. I also don't want to miss any fields. So this is a good way to make sure that I'm not missing any fields from my model. They're all typed in properly, and it saves me some typing is really the key here. And right, we want the operating system. And I'm also have the keyboard in an awkward spot because I want the microphone to be close. That's not helping my speed or efficiency here, but we're almost done. Actually, so model, and I screwed up here, I went too far. Fields equals, what have I missed here? This is not right. Like that. Okay, so we have all of our fields in a new class inside of the serializers. Well, we need a URL, and again, I am going to cheat here, and we're going to just copy this line, the path, but now we want it for VRF. Okay, so what this is the path learn VRF, JSON, and we're including the Merlin URLs. We are all done with serializers and URLs. We don't need to touch anything else in our main Merlin. We move into the Merlin API, and first let's make our URL pattern. Well, I think what we need to do here is register our new view as learn VRF, and this is VRF view set. Okay, and now I think that's all we need to do here. And now we're going to go to views, and we're going to make, right, we need to copy in or import learn VRF here. We need to import in our learn VRF serializer here. So this is our views, and in our views we need to import our new serializer and our model. Right, now what we want to do is make another class, learn VRF view set, and this is view sets dot model view set, and we need a query set, which is going to be our model, not our serializer, our model dot objects dot all, and let's order them by, I like this, timestamp. And I might add this retrofit my HTML to have them ordered as well. So now we need a serializer class equals learn VRF serializer. I believe this is ready to go unless there's a problem with this URLs here, I'm not sure. But I think that's all we really need to do. Serialize our model and then present it as a new view. Let's turn on the server. And everything passed the checks. That's a good start. And let's just close some of these. And let's go to localhost 8000 / learn VRF JSON. What do you think? Okay, so I see. It's presenting both in my list. I need to adjust this. I don't want this. And learn VLAN is probably the same now. So what I might do then, instead of having, is actually leave it like this and let people pick what they want. So there's VLAN, there's VRF. VRF is working, by the way. Now this might not be a bad thing. What I think I might do is have, instead of JSON here, have, you know, or instead of even learn VLAN, sort of like I have here with the on-demand center. How I have on-demand. What I might do is change this page, this REST page, into its own high-level thing, and I can just have, you know, REST API here, which presents this page, and then people can click their own. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to refactor that. But that wasn't the point of this video. I'm drifting. The point was we made a working REST API with the VRF data. Now don't worry about the views. I've made a bit of a brainstorm. I'm going to refactor this. So I have one more API ready to go, which is going to be the show version. We did learn VLAN and learn VRF. I have one more to play with. In the meantime, between videos, I'm going to set up a REST API center and put all of the commands so it's just one-stop shop. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you soon.